Who could have read more this month but didn't? This kid. Kim here, and it is the end of the month, so that means I'm going to tell you about everything that I read in the month. That's what we do here. I did not have an awesome reading month, I'm not going to lie to you. The things I did read were really good, but I had a really rough DNF. I read 3.5-ish books in May, and while that is shameful, that is what it is. I did not read a lot, and so I am a little disappointed that that happened, but you know, life. Sometimes the reading stars do not align in the way that you need them to, and you just have to, I don't even know what you do. Is there a solution to that? Does anyone know? On to what I read this month. The first thing I read this month was part of the reason that I didn't get a lot of reading done, because I spent a lot of time on it and then ended up DNFing it because of reasons. It was the Aqueous Transmission by Mike I. I wanted to like this more than I did. Honestly, just the writing style isn't for me. I tried really hard, and I knew from about the first chapter that this was not a book for me. Like, I knew. And unfortunately, I spent more time on it than I should trying to convince myself otherwise, and it just didn't happen, okay? It just was not for me at all in the writing style. It just really felt like writing, and that's just not something that I'm able to get through very easily. It's not a short book, and I read half of it until I finally was like, we gotta stop. I DNF'd it, and that is the sad thing that happens. The next book I read was The Beat on Ruby Street by Jenna Zark. This book saved my month. It was so good. It was so good. I was sent this for review by Aurora Publicity, and I cannot thank them enough over there for sending me this, because oh my gosh, it was so good. It's a middle grade novel about a girl who you know, was growing up in Greenwich Village, and she's in the beat generation, and she's a beat poet, and she is mistakenly arrested, and oh jeez, it's good. It's so good. It scored a 17 out of 20 on my own rating scale, which is a 5-star rating on Goodreads if you are insistent upon a star rating. I did a full review on this book if you want to check it out. The next book I read was The Haunted Mask by R.L. Stine. This is a Goosebumps book. I love Goosebumps books. I can always count on them to just be a quick, entertaining read. Like, I don't have to worry about anything going into these books, and I love that about them. I had the movie version of this book growing up and watched it frequently. It scared the crap out of me, but I watched it anyway. I don't really know why. But I really liked it. It's a good story. This is a story about Carly Beth, who is often bullied because she scares so easily. People are always jumping out and playing pranks on her and things like that. She is sick of it. Halloween night, she goes to the party store and finds a mask that the guy doesn't want to sell her, and she buys it, and it turns out that the mask is really possessed and crazy and scary. So good, guys. Just so fun and good, and I just love Goosebumps. The Haunted Mask got a 16 out of 20. The last book I read in May was How to Kill a Monster by R.L. Stine. Another Goosebumps book, obviously, because why not? I love them. 2 kids that have to go stay with their grandparents who live in a swamp, and then it turns out that there's a swamp monster in their house, and they have to deal with that. It was not quite as good as The Haunted Mask, but still good Goosebumps classic R.L. Stine fun. This one received a 15 out of 20. That's everything I read in May. What? Who are you? Let's be honest, I could have read more this month, and I didn't, and part of that is because of crazy work stuff. Everything happened with Media Strange over May, and so I really ended up putting a lot of time in that, which is fine. That's great. Like, that's super great. I'm very pleased with that. And then I had that one book that I had to DNF that just really, like, ate a lot of reading time and was a shame, but I'm pleased, moderately satisfied with the amount of reading I did this month. Reading, man, it comes in waves. Like, that's what it does, I guess. I better end this before I start to think. Ugh. Consider subscribing to this YouTube channel if you haven't already, because all the cool kids are doing it. That's a good reason to do anything. Thanks for watching!